Hawaii is one of the highest priced housing markets in the country, and it's getting harder for many to rent a decent apartment, let alone buy a condo or house. You probably know someone who's been affected. Young people just out of college, middle-class working families, senior citizens on fixed incomes. Where can they turn for help? The Affordable Housing and Economic Development Foundation is a nonprofit organization that works with developers, government agencies, and other groups to bridge the gap between market costs and what people can pay based on their income.
When I moved home from California after graduating from law school, I had hoped to work on resort development and big projects in Hawaii. At that time, the Japanese bubble had just burst. That was the late 80s, early 90s. And so the only types of projects that were really going at that time were affordable housing projects. The last time the government did tax reform in 1986, they had included in that bill the low-income housing tax credit program. And that really was able to generate the development of affordable rentals for folks in need across the country. And I was fortunate to be able to work on some of the first low-income housing tax credit projects in the state. Those projects involved families and seniors and other folks earning 60% or less of the median income. And it's the working class folks, the person that works as a bank teller, the person who serves you food at a restaurant, the beginning teacher, the beginning policeman, and they have a hard time finding housing. And with this program, the government was able to subsidize and allow for the development of affordable rentals.
My name is Paul Marks. I've had an opportunity to work with the local construction trades for the last 26 years. Part of the important piece for me is helping those guys, the workforce people, afford a place to live. And it's a natural transition for me to be here with the understanding of what it takes to invest for your future for those guys. Our vision is helping the folks that actually are pulling in a paycheck, that need a leg up to help support their housing. We had an opportunity to look at an annual survey that's done here in the state, and it talked about career pay, and we back that into how the federal government calculates affordable housing. And you look at the career paths of an automobile mechanic, bank teller, an assistant to a CEO, all of these folks, their annual salary puts them in the range of needing subsidy.
There are government programs that help folks earning 60% and below median, 30% and below median. There are a lot of programs that are out there to help the homeless, but there are very few, if any, programs that are available for folks that earn $1 more than 60% of the median income. So a family of four makes $60,001 a year. There is not really a program for them. The city and the state are trying to come up with incentives and other programs to encourage developers to build in that area of 80% or 100% or below median. Unfortunately, there's just not a lot of subsidy available, if any, and that's where I saw a need for the AHED Foundation to come in and try to help get projects developed and financed and entitled for the working class folks who maybe don't qualify for one of the other federal programs. We formed the AHED Foundation, which stands for Affordable Housing and Economic Development Foundation, in 2015, after many years of my thinking about how can we help address the affordable housing crisis without just asking the government for more money, and with help of developers who were involved in the affordable housing community and volunteers, we've been able to get the organization up and running and help fund and finance a project on Kauai for seniors, which was very successful in the tax credit program, and also to work with developers to find other pieces of property that would be good for affordable housing.
One of the true enjoyments of working here at AHED Foundation is having the opportunity to work and partner with developers that want to help society, like Makani on the Waipahu Tower building.
As you can hear, this is a work in progress. In the past 22 years, I've been involved in the preservation of over 8,000 units of affordable housing, and we've served about 10,000 families with the acquisition, rehabilitation, or new construction of housing. What we do know, though, is there are about 25,000 affordable housing units that we still need today, and in order to get to those goals, in order to achieve what we want to with AHED and AHED Group and affordable housing developers, as well as just the community, we need more support. We need an understanding of what affordable housing is, and then we need the financial resources, the sources of funding which make this type of property possible. As you know, we charge very low rents, so those low rents only support a certain amount of debt. the cost of rehabilitating housing or building new is the same as if we were going to rent those units out for much higher. So, with some financial support and the resources, legislative support, policymakers, lawmakers, and the understanding of the funding that we need, then we can build this housing and make sure that it's here to address the 25,000 units that we need.
For folks who really want to help solve the affordable housing crisis or contribute to a solution, they can go to the AHED Foundation website at ahedhawaii.org and learn a little bit more about us, and if they feel so inclined to donate to us, we are using that money to acquire, develop, and preserve affordable units in the state of Hawaii.
In part 2, after the break, you'll learn more about the AHED Foundation's goals and see the inspiring transformation of one of their affordable housing projects in Waipahu.